The U.S. Air Force F-22 Raptor stealth fighters recently arrived in the Middle East. United States Central Command, or CENTCOM, stated that U.S. Air Force F-22 Raptor stealth fighters had touched down at an unspecified airbase in the Middle East and directly linked this to the increasing friction with Russian aircraft in the region. CENTCOM has said that the jets had come from the Air Force's 94th Fighter Squadron, which is headquartered at Joint Base Langley, Eustis in Virginia. The command hasn't disclosed the total number of F-22s which are part of the deployment. Pictures and videos released along with the announcement showed at least 2 F-22s touching down, as well as flying together with a pair of F-16C Viper fighters armed with AIM-120 Advanced Medium Range Air-to-Air Missiles, AMRAAM, AIM-9X Sidewinders, GBU-39B Small Diameter Bombs, and Joint Direct Attack Munition, or JDAM, Precision-Guided Bombs. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes why the U.S. is sending mighty F-22 Raptors to the Middle East. Let's get started. Viewers may note that within Syria, U.S. forces are stationed at multiple locations on the ground, primarily to provide support for ongoing coalition operations aimed at combating the terrorist organization ISIS. Additionally, American personnel work closely in collaboration with local, predominantly Kurdish groups in the region. According to the senior commander of the U.S. Air Force in the Middle East, there's been a noticeable increase in unsafe and unprofessional Russian aerial maneuvers over Syrian airspace. During Defense One's Tech Summit, U.S. Air Force Lieutenant General Alexis Grinkowicz, the head of U.S. Air Force's Central AFCENT, provided an update on the situation in Syria. Lieutenant Grinkowicz has been consistently vocal for several months regarding the noticeable escalation of Russian aircraft engaged in aggressive maneuvers near American planes and displaying other concerning behaviors in Syria. He stated that some of this is influenced by Russia-Iran nexus. Grinkowicz said, "I'll tell you, I think this is driven by a confluence of our adversaries now. So with Russia being beholden to Iran, with the mighty Russian Air Force having to buy UAVs, uncrewed aerial vehicles, from Iran, the Russians actually owe the Iranians something. Russia has been enjoying multiple types of Iranian-made uncrewed aircraft, especially kamikaze drones in Ukraine, for months now. And it's likely that Tehran may get weapon systems like Su-35, Flanker E fighter jets in return." Grinkowicz further stated, "So that dynamic, I think, has resulted in collusion, if you will, between the Russians and the Iranians, both of whom want to see us out of Syria. They're also colluding with the Syrian regime and trying to push us out of Syria as quick as they can." While Grinkowicz says that the situation in the skies above Syria has not risen to this level yet, the situation there does appear to have escalated to a new degree recently. The commander of AFCENT highlighted a notable incident that occurred in March involving a collision between a Russian Su-27 flanker fighter and a U.S. MQ-9 Reaper drone over the Black Sea. As a result of this encounter, the MQ-9 Reaper crashed. The incident was characterized by the commander as a reckless and unprofessional intercept, with the flanker making multiple close passes to the unmanned aircraft and even dumping fuel on it. Initially, Russian authorities denied the occurrence of the incident in the Black Sea. However, despite the denial, the pilot of the Su-27, responsible for colliding with the MQ-9, along with his wingman, were later awarded medals for their actions by Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu. Grinkowicz said, If you're going to give medals to Russian fighter pilots for pouring gas on a UAV and then knocking it out of the sky by crashing into it while they're operating over the Black Sea, then the Russian pilots that serve in other parts of the world, such as Syria, see that, and that's going to incentivize them. F-22 Raptor brings massive offensive power. It's an engineering masterpiece designed for first look, first shot, first kill. F-22 combines powerful flight dynamics, excellent situational awareness, and stealth characteristics in a single platform. It can supercruise, that is, it can fly with supersonic speeds without using fuel-inefficient afterburners, and has super maneuverability. The AN/APG-77 radar-equipping F-22 features a low-observable, active aperture, electronically scanned array that can track multiple targets under any weather conditions. It has a range of about 400 kilometers, or around 250 miles, against a 1 square meter target. This radar can also be used for electronic attack by focusing its signals on the enemy to overload their sensors. F-22 Raptor is developed from the ground up to be stealthy. It's the stealthiest fighter ever built and has a very low RCS, or radar cross-section, of only 0.0001 square meter. As per some analysis, Russia's most stealthy but still not operational fighter, Su-57, has an RCS of 0.05 square meters, which makes it around 500 times larger on the radar when compared to F-22. Raptors can't be detected by most sensors. Even if some radars are able to detect it, they'll find it very hard to track it and have a radar lock. Hence, Raptor can strike with its plethora of air-to-air and air-to-ground weapons without the enemy knowing it's there in the first place. The Russian Air Force had a 10-to-1 advantage against Ukraine when the campaign started. It was thought that Russia would have full control of the skies in a few days and will be able to neutralize important military targets like Ukrainian command and control centers, as well as air defense systems. But more than a year down the line, Russia still doesn't have absolute air superiority. Russian aircraft, supporting assets, and tactics have been found wanting on several fronts. It's not hard to see that even a few F-22 Raptors could put the Russians on the edge. Raptor is now equipped with Link 16, through which it can connect with military aircraft, as well as ships and ground forces, to exchange tactical pictures in near real time. Given the situation, it seems that CENTCOM has taken the right decision to send F-22 to the Middle East to bolster US's aerial might.
Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.